Still hot here. How are you guys? Welcome back to All Things Equilateral. Funny thing, actually not funny, kind of sad, but it's the truth. I did BookTube-A-Thon, you guys. It was awesome. If ever you can participate in one of these reading challenges, take the time out and just do it, because it gives you little pockets of time where you are forcing yourself to read. And it's fun because you're indulging in something that you usually don't make the time for. I scheduled 7 books. I know, I didn't think that I was going to get to all 7, and I didn't. But I did read 5, and that's more books than I've read in 18 years, since my first kid was born, in a week. You know, it took me back to my college days. It was so fun to just read. So one of the books that I read, it wasn't the first book, but one of the books that I read, and you know what, I don't even remember all the challenges, and I'm not going to list them here. I'll list them down below. One of the books that I read was, help if I held it up correctly, Mockingbird. I just love this cover. It's the Ask Me About My Feminist Agenda cover. And you know, I said this year that I was going to read more comic books and graphic novels, and this was, I think, probably like my 3rd or 4th, so I'm not doing horribly, I'm not doing particularly well in the challenge, but I love this character and I just want more. So I will definitely be picking up additional volumes of this when it comes out. The book that I'm really proud that I finished is Dunkirk, because it's based on the motion picture. I have not seen it yet. I may wait until it comes out on DVD. Our schedules are so crazy right now that I may not make it in the theater. I'd like to see it in the theater, but I'm proud of myself because this book is 346 pages. It's a mass market paperback, which I hate the size, you guys. I know most of you do too. But you know, Joshua Levine wrote like 5 or 6 other World War II books, and he is so well researched. He brings the story of Dunkirk, which is not taught in U.S. schools at all, to life through letters, war journals, and newspaper articles that he's researched and found. And it seems so real because he puts you there. What an amazing story. One of my degrees is in political science, so I naturally flock to this kind of writing, and it was a true pleasure to read. One of the things that amazed me, especially in comparison, and I know I probably sound like your guys' history teachers, but in comparison to the Vietnam War, when our men and women came home from that war, it was not a celebrated war, it was very controversial. Dunkirk is a failure, you guys, no spoilers. This is a retreat, and yet in the UK it's celebrated because heroic acts occurred from civilians. Amazing story. If you can pick up the book, I don't even know if it's out on audiobook, I'll check and put it in the notes below, and definitely watch the movie. It's got a really high rating. Dunkirk, finished. One of the rules says you reserve the right to change your mind on the books you want to read. So I plan to read Liberty the Spy Who Kind of Liked Me, the WikiLeaks YA plot, and Song of the Current, which is about a river god and a girl, I think. But you know what, I wasn't in the mood for it. After reading Dunkirk, and some of the acts of heroism are so visceral and just, they touched my heart, that I wanted something really, really light. And I know these are probably lighter than Dunkirk, but I went with The Truth About Happily Ever After by Karole Cozzo, because you know, it's about a girl who just finished college. It's the summer after college, and she's still the happy sorority girl working in the theme park as the character she just absolutely adores, Cinderella. So immediately I was taken to Disneyland and trying to picture, you know, the politics behind the scenes. It was light, it was fluffy. I think that, you know, I probably would have rated it like 2.5 stars because it was so predictable. But please don't let that rating discourage you from reading it, because you know what, it was light and fluffy, and it just kind of let my mind wander somewhere where, you know, there wasn't a war happening and young men weren't being killed. So this was entirely too cute. Yeah, and her boyfriend works in the park, and you know, stuff happens after college. Maybe he's not the right guy for her. It was adorable. So I think this was the overhyped book. I honestly don't remember, but the movie's coming out this fall. I'm so excited about the cast. Page Turner's blog is doing a full promotion all like in the coming weeks and months with Lionsgate, and the book is Wonder by RJ Palacio. You know, it may be overhyped, but the story is powerful. And as I stand here, my husband, my darling husband's barbecuing. Hey honey. And one of his favorite movies, he makes me watch this probably at the start of every football season. I don't care about football, you guys, but you know, if the movie's good, is Rudy. This book reminded me of Rudy, about a kid who's been homeschooled who has a serious facial deformity, and how he adapts to a middle school. All 3 of my kids have gone through middle school. Actually, one is still in middle school, and you know, it's just an awkward time. And you lose and make friends almost too easily there, and people, you know, middle schoolers, they're not particularly kind. They're learning that. This story touched my heart. It is so good, you guys. I gave this probably about 4.5 stars. I saved my 5-star book for last. And you know what, I forgot to rate Mockingbird and Dunkirk. Mockingbird, I think, is a solid probably 3.5, 4 stars. Dunkirk, I just really liked it, so 4 stars. Very well researched. But my 5-star book, When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. Lord, I love this book. It's about a girl, Dimple, who's finished up high school, the summer between high school and college, and Rishi, who is an old family friend. Their parents have been friends forever. And unbeknownst to Dimple, Rishi is her betrothed. They're supposed to get married. It's an arranged marriage. When I went to college, I had a friend whose parents kind of had this thing going with their son and you know, her parents. They kind of arranged a marriage for them. It was expected for them to get married, and they did. And honestly, I don't know how it turned out. I can tell you their wedding was fabulous. My parents, I'm from an ethnic background as well, because I've shared over and over again that I'm an immigrant. In our culture, arranged marriages are not a thing, but they always hope that you'll marry a nice, you know, in my case, Serbian boy. I didn't. I married an American, and my parents love him more than if he was Serbian. They've said that over and over again. But it's important when you're from a culture, especially here in the United States, where we assimilate so easily, to keep that culture alive. And this, the relationship between Dimple and her mom, so similar to my mom, especially at that age, going away to college. You know, she was worried about these trivial little things. Everything about this, Rishi and his brother and his parents, I loved it all. And I'm so genuinely excited that we have an author like this, you know, now present in today. I'm also excited that there's going to be a companion novel about the brother whom I loved. One of the things that when you're reading these YA series you get tired of is when each book is sort of the same. The brother is so different from Rishi. I can hardly wait to see what happens. Plus, his relationship with Dimple is awesome. You guys, if you haven't read it, I've heard the audiobook is good too. The moment I take out my Post-its and start making little annotations, you know that I'm really into the book. Awesome book. Pick it up now. So that's my BookTube wrap up. And if you participated in BookTube-A-Thon, please make a comment down below. Give me that link. I'd love to see it. I am so excited to do this again. And I hope that something like this exists during Christmas vacation as well. Thanks so much for watching. Give me a like, won't ya? Subscribe, and then, you know, hit that little bell button to be notified when I post videos. And BookTube-A-Thon, it was so awesome.